guys, River from PX3 here, finally showing the Mermail combo video. I have updated my list. I was waiting for the ban list just in case something changed. You never know, they might have given us back Fishpoke Blaster or Norden, or you just never know. But since not much has changed other than title, here we are. So I'm going to start off with what I've been cooking. First is the Neptibus line. This is your bread and butter combo. Basically, if Neptibus is the only card in hand that's playable, everything else is hand traps or whatever, then this is the line that you should go for, which is dumping bodyguards to add dragoons. Bodyguards will trigger, and this will summon Pike, wherever the Pike is. There he is, special summon Pike. Pike will trigger, discarding the Dragoons. This will search us for our Rhine, and Dragoons will trigger, searching for a Sea Serpent. The Sea Serpent in question doesn't ultimately matter. We'll grab Minstrel, because it is a level 3, it is a tuner, but those are the only two things that really matters. We're going to send for the Rhine, tributing the Neptibus to search for a level 7. This will be our Teus. This will then trigger our Neptibus to summon the Dragoons, and this is third summon going on to fourth, which will be the Bahamut Shark. And then for fifth, we will be able to get Toad. Dragoons will trigger again. This grabs us another Sea Serpent, but this one will be Moorland Glacier. Because as you can see, we have 4 waters in graveyard. So from here, unfortunately with this combo line, you do have to use the Explosive Fortress. You can't get it back, so you can't make the full armored Dark Knight Lancer, but that's fine because we're just trying to do a 1-card combo. So we'll detach 1, and this will search us for the water card. Where is he? Armor Shark. All right, cool. Now from here we have 5 waters, so we can special summon the Moorland Glacier, rip our opponent for 2. And then we're going to summon the Teus. Teus is going to, doesn't really matter which one we discard here, probably just the Minstrel, summon the Teus. Teus will trigger, this will search for Gund. And then from here, unfortunately, we have to link off here. There is a possibility where you keep Minstrel, you pitch the Gund with the Minstrel, but then you start running out of cards, and we're trying to do this as though the other 4 cards just don't exist in our hand. Basically just making this into a true 1-card combo. Alright, so we summon the Coral, we declare it effect, and we summon back the Bodyguards. Now from here, we go Bodyguards effect, we discard the Armor Shark, and we get to overlay here for our Gaius into Mega Gaius or Poseidon. And then from here, we link 3, and we get to float back 4 bodies here. So we'll summon the link 3, we'll discard this, and then off of the Poseidon to revive back 3. This will revive back the Armored Shark, the Minstrel, and the Bodyguards. New chain links will have Gund, and we'll have Neptibus. We'll resolve Neptibus first, which will grab us our equip spell, and Gund will revive back the Teus. You can revive back Pike, but we're going to get that anyway off of the Armored Shark. So ultimately you can just summon Pike here, so we'll probably just do that instead. If you summon back the Teus, it means that you can synchro it with the Minstrel for the level 10 Ice Jade, but in my opinion it doesn't ultimately matter. It's better to just make a Bahamut Shark, so that's what we're going to do. So from here we're going to overlay. And as you can see, we've only got the 1 Dragoons, so we do get to add back here off of our lovely Lavertu Dragon, probably the card that makes this deck tick the best. This will automatically grab us the Trap. We won't use effect just yet because we are going to activate this because we just needed to free up zones to summon the Dragoons. From here, we'll overlay. We'll make a Bahamut Shark. We're going to move this over to here. We're going to trigger our Bahamut Shark. We're going to detach the Dragoons, and this will get us our second Toad. And Dragoons will trigger. From here, we can search for Marksman. Oh, sorry, Heavy Infantry. Same card. Now we can freely detach to add back. So we can add back the Dragoons. You can also add back Gund. It doesn't really matter. So we will add back Dragoons. And then we can link to here. You can choose to link with the Virtue Dragon and the Bahamut Shark to make the link to Mermail. And then if you have the link to Mermail here, you can use effect to revive back the pike to make a the link for fella that Snake Eyes uses. World Sea Zelantis. You can summon Zelantis over here if you really wish to. I would probably prioritize either moving these two, switching them around, keeping the Virtue Dragon around, or keeping the Bahamut Shark around, just because of follow-up, because you can make this, and you can put back the Gaios, this Gaios, with Sidra with this. So this is the end board. So we have a trap, we have that pops 2, we have follow-up, we have mega follow-up, we have a spell negate, because this card can grab the spell negate equip, and we have a discard on the opponent's turn ×2, because we have Rhine Engrave as well. We also have extra deck putbacks here, as well as the Toads technically as well. So that's off of one Neptibus. So that feels pretty good, but it's probably not the big draw to the deck. We didn't do everything that I wish that we had done, and this hand does do it, but we're not gonna just play. So the main draw that I have about this is Minstrel. I think Minstrel as a card is insanely cracked for this deck. I haven't really, outside of like Goki, seen a deck look at the opponent's hand, discard a card, and play. And so what I wanted to do was find a way to make Minstrel plus one of the cards like Bodyguards equal full combo, and obviously I've done that or I wouldn't be showing this to you. So we're going to Minstrel, we get to look at the opponent's hand and we get to check for Vela, Imperms, Nibiru's, etc., Drolls, and all that good stuff. Bodyguards will trigger here. Now off of Bodyguards we're going to special summon the Neptibus. Now you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well we don't have Bodyguards to grab the pike. Don't worry, we'll get there. So we can trigger the Neptibus effect and we can dump to the graveyard the Dragoons, and we can add to hand Abyss Rhine. Dragoons will trigger here. This will grab us a Sea Serpent to our hand. We are going to grab to our hand the Neptibus. This is a little bit scuffed, but it changes completely. If we have an additional water in our hand. So we're going to send the Rhine and the Neptibus to search for Taeus. From here, the Neptibus can trigger. Alternatively, you can just hold it and do it here. So we are just going to hold it and we're going to pitch to this and do chain link 1, chain link 2. This will grab us pike. And it will revive back Dragoons. Now, one thing that you might have noticed is that that's 2 level 4s. And you are correct, because we have not normal summoned. Obviously, this plays a lot more into Nibiru, but we have Minstrel looking for the Nibiru. It is a little bit more scuffed of a combo compared to what we saw before, but the end board is a lot more powerful. So we can Dragoons here, or we can detach the Bahamut Shark. We're not summoning Toad here. Again, we have checked for Nibiru, so this is something that's important, is you could summon Toad here and then link to discard a random card, but this is, again, going under the context that we checked for Nibiru. Nibiru is the only interaction, so we're going to summon the Trite. Dragoons is going to trigger here, and we are going to grab to our hand. It can be the Megalo, because that's just a random Sea Serpent that we can discard, and it probably will just be the Megalo. Alright, from here, we are going to overlay. We're going to make the XYZ Armored Fortress, and we're going to detach the Pike. Pike is going to, the Armored Fortress is going to search for the lovely Armored Shark. And the thing about this card is that this card keeps coming back. So from here, we're going to overlay on top of the Abyss Trite for the Darklands, not Darklands, sorry, my bad, the Poseidon. And then from here, we get to link 2. And we can make the Coral an enemy and trigger Poseidon. We will discard the Armored Shark and we are going to revive 3. Zoning is a little bit important, so if I make a mistake, hopefully I don't. So we're going to summon Armored Shark, over here. We're going to summon bodyguards here, and we're going to summon the minstrel here. That feels about right. If I make a mistake, I guess I'll just edit it out. So the important thing here is that we obviously have not triggered the pike yet. So we're going to make a little virtue dragon, and this will trigger to search for our trap. We're going to search for virtue stream, and we're going to detach the bodyguards to add back to our hand the dragoons. From here, we're going to revive the bodyguards. And because we've done that, we can now link here to make the lovely link 3. So I am going to summon this link 3 here because it frees up the most amount of zones, because we are going to link with this in a second. But firstly, we're going to use its effect before we do that. So we're going to send the good old Abyss Dweller to the graveyard, and we're going to revive Pike. Pike summon should probably be here. And we have a few chainlinks. So chainlink 1 will be Pike, we're discarding the dragoons. And then chainlink 2 will be the Royal Mermail to search for the equip spell. So obviously this is a lot of free value. So we get to search for a level 3 here. You can search Minstrel, for example, but I am going to be searching for Gund, because this is another interaction. Dragoons is going to trigger as well, so this means that we get to search for a Sea Serpent. So we're going to add to our hand the Heavy Infantry. Arguably this Megalo should have been another Heavy Infantry, but it's just another card that we're just going to discard, probably off the bodyguards in a second. Before we do anything else though, we're going to use this, and we're going to revive the Dragoons. Now, as you can see, this is very obvious. We do this every single time. We make Bahamut Shark again. From here we get to Bahamut Shark once more to summon Toad. Because this is so free, and Dragoons will once again trigger again. And I just want to point out that we've only used 2 cards to do this combo, so we have an additional 3 cards in our hand, so we're about to go to 8. So we can add the Heavy Infantry here. And that's not all, we're going to overlay on top of the XYZ Armor Fortress, just showing you that the Megalo should have probably been the 3rd Heavy Infantry. We're going to make this, and we're going to trigger effect, and we're going to add back this Armored Shark that is here, that we're going to sort out in just a second. We're going to link off here for the Alacia, and now we can trigger our Dark Knight Lancer, because this card, once per turn, can just target an XYZ card and add it back. So we can add this card to our hand. But we're not going to at the moment, because we're going to Bodyguards. Bodyguards here is going to discard the Gund and make itself level 7, and we get to revive the Teus. From here we get to overlay, and we get to make our Abyss Gaios. Now you're probably looking at our extra deck at 2 cards and going, ooh, well, that's a bit scary, but just remember that we do have this card to put back 3 cards on the following turn, but because of this combo we're actually going to do it now. So we're going to banish, and we're going to put Pike, very important, back to the deck. We're going to put this guy back to the extra deck, and we are probably just going to put the Coral Anemone as well. There is an argument that the Virtue Dragon should go back, but we are doing this for other reasons. So we get to shuffle our deck now, yay, and we can set this in the Spell Trap card zone. Importantly, what this represents is multitudes of discards, hence why this probably should have been Heavy Infantry, my bad. Yeah, it should have been Heavy Infantry. We'll just fix that up right now. Fuck it. Do it live. So you have 3 Heavy Infantry. That's the whole point of this deck. Is the reason that I'm playing 3 is because you do end up with 3 here. I just grabbed Megalo subconsciously because it's an extender. Because it can grab Equip Spell, it doesn't mean I need to make this, blah blah blah. So, but this is generally what we're looking for ending on, and this is from Minstrel plus Bodyguards, which is crazy, but it doesn't look that crazy. So firstly, we have at any point suck up an opponent's monster. The reason that it's at any point is because this card during the opponent's turn can just equip to an XYZ monster, just for no reason. It also gains 500, so making this card really massive. Next, we have a skill drain, and level 5 or higher can't attack. We'll get back to this in a second. We have a spell negate via equipping the equip spell, which does technically also trigger this, but would rather this be as free as possible. We have a toad negate. We have a discard to search for a Mermail, so searching for Teus, or the Megalo that we've already got rid of. So this is one heavy infantry trigger. We have a pop 2. It has to pop 3, so it has to pop one card you control, one card, 2 cards your opponent controls. But that's not why it's here. It's here for Dark Ruler. Then we have the Abyss Rhine, which can discard the second heavy infantry to draw a card. Importantly, this is the reason why we have bodyguards under Abyss Gaius. Let's say our opponent goes Dark Ruler no more, like immediately main phase, right? We're still not out of the game because we have the Abyss Gaius that can still detach to activate its effects, even though its effects negated, detaching the bodyguards to float the pike on the opponent's turn. And this means that we still have 2 heavy infantry discards and a search of a level 3 and a add back of Toad via popping 2 and a draw off of the Rhine, all off of the Minstrel Plus thing, and this is why we put this card back. You could play 2 pike, but I consider that a brick, especially considering that we can do it during the mainline combo. Basically, what I'm saying here is that although we have 4 cards in the extra deck, and they're not all great 4 cards, this board, to me, feels pretty uncrackable. It feels pretty hard to get through, which is why I like this combo. There are multiple different variations. So, for example, Minstrel plus Dragoons is the normal Neptibus 1 card combo. Teus, technically this does it as well, because you can Teus pitch this, search for bodyguards, pitch it with this, and that goes back into the full combo. You just don't have the Teus search, so you have to kind of freelance it, right? And that's ultimately what this deck is designed to do. There are a bunch of other 2-card combos that I'm probably just going to show off as replays, just to help you guys view some of the combos that you can do. Obviously, not all the combos are great, because in my opinion they require too many bricks. But in saying that, this is my current list. The changes I've made are fairly minimal. As you can see, we're now playing 3 heavy infantry because I'm looking to end on 2 to 3 heavy infantry in my hand when I pass my turn if I go uninteracted with, or if I open Minstrel. Obviously, because of the fluidity, there are a lot of times where you start off with Minstrel and you end up mulling Glacier, and then you end on that board again, where, like, because you've Minstrel, you got to look at your opponent's hand to check for Nibiru. So instead of making the Toad on 5th summon, you instead make the Abyss Trite, and that's the real power, is that if you make the Bahamut Shark, you can just summon Abyss Trite, and then from the Abyss Trite summon, you can go through the lines to make that combo that I just showed previously. And that's only safe because you got to check first. If you don't check, it's always probably better to go Toad just because of Nibiru, or you can say fuck it, we bowl, and just go ham and summon the Abyss Trite, and just the opponent won't have it, right? Yeah, so this is currently the list. There are a few iffy parts that I have. For example, I'm not a big fan of Call by the Grave in most decks. The only reason here is because we have 3 hand drops that we auto lose to, being the Perulia, the Feroce, and Shifter. Crossout doesn't deal with Shifter, which is unfortunate. The only card in the deck that does deal with Shifter is Agrine, and even that is fairly suboptimal. This is the next card that I wish to cut. So it's this, and then a third card would be the Dominus. The Dominus is just here because it helps with side decking, because we're siding out the 2 Minstrels going second because it's unnecessary. We're siding out the Mullen Glacier, and we're siding out this card. Basically, this going second, this, and then it is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, jeez. It is something else. This depends on the matchup, obviously. And then it could be like this for like the draws if they are that important, or it could be the thrusts and the duster. But yeah, this is generally what we're signing out when we go second, because they're not that great going into a board. This card's still good because it is free water that you get from rank 3 or rank 4, because this card can overlay on top of 3 or 4. Just can't overlay on top of Toad, which sucks minimally. This card can also come out a lot, but again, there are like some matchups where you want to keep it just for that one random trap card that the opponent plays that like is searchable via their combo that you just need to deal with sometimes. And it's like not bad, it's just another water card, right? Ashes are in the main deck solely because of Feroce. That's the only reason that I have this card. If I figure out, like, this was originally the crossouts, and then I was playing like one of these over, I think it was the Dominus. But yeah. So that is the list. I will end this by going over some replays that I found of combos, not just regarding this deck. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe.